Hello, guys. Welcome back. So, somebody asked me about having tea or coffee with the gods. If you could do that without wanting to make a commitment to Loki, it's just if you are interested in working with him or maybe just getting to know him without making a commitment to work, could you do that? You certainly can. Loki's not for everyone. I love him to the moon and back. I'm running his channel. I better love him. But, he's not for everyone. Some people are going to have a personality clash with him because you can be stubborn, and we're both very stubborn, foxy people, but you're going to have to do a lot of yielding too when you work with Loki. It's just kind of a fact of life. And if you can't get along over coffee, you're pretty much going to get to see how the relationship's going to go. But you can totally meet to have just say coffee or tea or whatever you want. I'm getting Red Robin back here. Shut up. He doesn't need a cheeseburger the first time he shows up. I mean, yes, I do. He does not need a cheeseburger. In fact, if you can only do water, if you can do nothing at all, if you just want to meet for a first time and just try to fill out each other and see if you're interested in each other, that's fine. Working with a god should be like working with anyone else. You're going to meet them initially, and, like say you meet a neighbor for coffee. You're not going to meet that neighbor for coffee and then automatically expect that every time they do something, they include you. That's not a normal expectation. It's like, okay, you met for coffee, but it doesn't mean now that every time they go somewhere, they're obliged to take you, or every time they have a party, they're obliged to invite you over. If you were doing that for them, that would be different, but if you only met for coffee once, you would kind of see it as unreasonable to expect this really deep relationship. Same thing with the gods. If you only meet for coffee and then you never really call on them again and you just don't feel that connection and you felt like maybe they didn't even show up, that's okay. That's what it's there for. It's kind of like a nice neutral ground for you to meet over, and if they don't show up, then you have 2 cups of coffee, which, again, with COVID-19, we don't want to be taking offerings outside, and coffee, for example, and some teas can poison wildlife, so we don't want to be taking it outside and leaving it where, some animal or perhaps some human could drink it. um what you want to do in that case is you can just have one offering if that's all you can afford or practically have, or you can have, the 2 cups, but just, I have over the years drank many a cup of coffee, which is probably why I have nervous energy. You put out their cup and then you put out your cup and you have coffee together. At one point, when I used to do it as a ritual offering every Saturday for the Baron, I would be drinking 3 cups of coffee straight off for the first thing in the morning, and I was getting a little jazzed. And then we decided that, yeah, I could start offering, coffee to him, give him a bit, and then I could drink the coffee and at least cut down by 1 cup. And then eventually he was like, yeah, you're on the ceiling, so we cut the coffee out. But for the initial meeting part, you can definitely do coffee, or you can do just a cup of tea. He does not need Red Robin. Loki does not need to arrive to a steak dinner. Even though, gods would like to put their paws out and see what they can get, he doesn't need to arrive to a steak dinner. The coffee idea is actually good because not everybody's going to get along with every god. Not everybody's going to get along with Loki. You do have to learn to tell him no. For example, we are waiting on a goodie to ship for him, and it's a goodie he needs, like he needs a hole in his head. But it's a goodie that I ordered and I committed to it, and even though it hasn't shipped for about a week, he's still going to get his goodie. He's going to get a bunch of Cadbury eggs. But he also saw some tea he wanted. And since his first goodie didn't ship, he wanted his second goodie, and I said, well, let me look at it. And it was $28 for this tea. And I said, no. I said, that's just a little too much for a couple boxes of tea. And I said, it's 6 boxes, Loki. And they're small herbal boxes. I said, if I hate it, I'm stuck with tea. Yeah. I said, look, if we ever see 1 box of this tea, we can get it and try it. And then if you truly, are over the moon about it, then we can get it. But you do have to learn to tell him no. You do. And he will fuss and he will whine. But actually meeting him for coffee is really good. One caveat. Once you have given Loki food or any kind of offering whatsoever, he can be notoriously hard to get to leave. He can decide he likes you just fine and he's not leaving. and you might not want to work with Loki, but he's not leaving. And then, you just have to hope that if you truly don't want to work with him, he wanders away on his own, because once he's invited in, he will make himself at home. So that is something to be aware of. It's not like you gave him tea or coffee, so you're indebted to him for life. But it is a thing of he's one of those gods that's pretty notorious for making his home with you and deciding he's living with you forever. So do be aware of that. Some people never get a response. That's pretty rare, but some people never get a response. Not every god's going to get along with everyone. Just like most of us started out Christian and we ended up wandering away from that for either other gods were calling us or we never made that kind of connection that made us just want to stay there. It's the same exact thing. You may have been brought up with Norse gods and you just never connected to Loki, but you connected to, say, Freyr or someone. I mean, yeah, but shut up. He's like, Red Robin, you do not need to go out and get him, Red Robin. He does not need it. Coffee or tea is more than enough for the first meeting. In fact, some people will say don't have anything at all. And that idea is that if they will meet with you and talk with you even when you don't have an offering, that's a good sign. That's a good sign that you're at least somewhat compatible. Some people will say, oh, no, you must have an offering or you'll offend them. But, I think go with what feels right to you. If you want to have coffee and just casually get to know them, that's fine. It's not like you're going to have that coffee, then go out and have 5 drinks at a bar, and then go get matching back tattoos and be buddies for life. It doesn't have to progress that fast. I mean, oh, he's full of beans. We even did a cover photo for the video, which hopefully uploads. So he's full of beans. He's a little wild right now, but I hope that helps. And it's a good idea because you might not get along, and then if you do get along, then if you want to do something more occasionally and do more offerings, that's up to you. But really, it's, a time to get to know each other. You can play nice music. If you can light a candle and you feel like it, you can, but don't put an obligation on yourself. I hate giving people a list of stuff to do because it's not going to work for everyone. So if you don't want music, you don't want scents, or you don't want candles, that's fine too. So you do you, and you are not committed to a lifetime commitment just because you talk to a god. Some of them might try to convince you are, but you are not, especially if there's just something about you and you don't click. You are not now committed to life just because you were nice and gave them coffee. So if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you later. Okay, yes, you are back here. Pay no attention. I will see you guys later. Bye bye.